the latest viral videos features an attorney from New York going off at employees at a fast food restaurant known as Fresh Kitchen in Midtown. Apparently, there were customers there who were speaking to one of the employees at the restaurant in Spanish, and the attorney was outraged about it. Here's the video that went viral.
Clients at your staff is speaking Spanish to customers when they should be speaking.
Being very violent. I mean, sometimes they do.
Every person I listen to, he's spoken, she's speaking it, is America.
He's very ignorant. He's very ignorant, and he shouldn't be allowed.
I will be following up, and my guess is they're not documented. So my next call is to ICE to have each one of them kicked out of my country. If they have the balls to come here and live off of my money, I pay for their welfare, I pay for their ability to be here. The least they can do is
Their welfare? Such an ignorant.
So in that video, just in case you had a hard time hearing it, he made the argument that, oh, you're probably here illegally, and I'm paying for you to be here, I'm paying for your welfare. I just want to clarify one quick thing about undocumented immigrants, which, by the way, there's no indication that anyone in that restaurant was undocumented. But when it comes to undocumented immigrants, on a federal level, they do not qualify for any government assistance. If you're undocumented, you don't qualify. On a state level, some states will provide some services, but again, that is up to state lawmakers to decide. So he thinks very highly of himself, and he gives himself way too much credit when he says that he's providing welfare for undocumented immigrants and he's paying for them to live here. That is not the case.
In fact, let me be more specific. So they are not allowed to get welfare. They are not allowed to get food stamps. They're not allowed to get any of that stuff. Yes, if they are in a terrible car accident and they're bleeding out, we will accept them in the hospitals because we're decent human beings.
We're supposed to be, at least.
Yeah, and that might require a little bit of resources. But what they never tell you is this. Stephen Goss, the chief actuary for the Social Security Administration, The Atlantic writes about this, calculates that undocumented immigrants paid $13 billion into the retirement trust fund that year and only got about $1 billion in benefits. If you think about it, that makes sense. Everybody has to pay the payroll tax. It's taken out of your check. But if you're undocumented, you can't collect Social Security or Medicare. So they put in $12 billion extra into the federal government that they don't get back. So they actually, ironically, Schlossberg might be living off of them. Right?
Right.
And then one more thing. Now you mentioned state and local because sometimes in state and local areas they do get some small benefits because again we want to be decent human beings. But what you never see is the taxes that they pay versus top 1% in state and local level. Do you know that young undocumented immigrants pay more than the top 1% in state and local taxes? They pay 8.9%. And the top 1% only pay 5.4%. So, I mean, does that make any sense to you guys? I mean, you can say, hey, undocumented immigrants, they should pay taxes. Okay, I get it, no question, right? But why are the richest people in the country paying less taxes than people who had to sneak into the country because they were so desperate for a job?
Right, and also, I want to emphasize that blue states, liberal states like California, for instance, which do offer some services for undocumented immigrants. In other words, they offer services for the poor and they don't say no based on your immigration status. Well, in California, they pay sales tax. And sales tax in California, as all the conservatives in the country know and love to complain about, is pretty high. It's nearly 10%. So they do pay taxes. And if it's up to the states to decide whether or not they use the state resources to help people, then that's their decision. But to say that they get federal help in the form of government programs is a straight out lie. So he's beyond misinformed. Now, with that said, apparently after that video went viral, a bunch of his former classmates from when he went to law school reached out to the media. So to give you an example, Real Justice PAC co-founder Sean King wrote on Twitter that 13 people have reported being harassed by Schlossberg some of which were videotaped. So he started sharing some of these videos, and I came across one that took place 2 years ago in October of 2016. It features a man named Willie Morris. He's a white guy, and apparently Aaron Schlossberg approached him and started harassing him. We have that video for you. Take a look.
What country are you from?
Who are you?
I'm gonna call the police. You don't run into people. I'm a citizen here. You're not. You're an ugly foreigner. So you.
I don't know this guy at all.
Not that I'm behind.
I don't know this guy at all.
Gonna get a quick picture.
Don't worry, dude. I've got you on video.
Not allowed to walk on the wrong side of the street.
This guy literally just ran into me and is going crazy.
I thought he was a friend of yours.
I thought he was a friend of yours. That's the craziest thing I've seen. He literally held up his bag, shoved it into me, and then proceeded to like flip out.
So let me jump in because I watched Willie Morris's whole video.
Yeah. And
he does this funny explanation of how large the sidewalk is and how they were on the very edge of it, him and his girlfriend, right? And you can see it in the video. And this insane dude, Schlossberg, walks right into them, rams into them. He's like, "What are you doing?" And then he starts yelling at him, "You're an ugly foreigner." And they were so surprised. They're like, "Well, this must be a joke, and I must know this guy."
Yeah.
Or you must know this guy. And then they're like, "No, there's some random dude that just ran into us and threatened to call the cops on us because we're foreigners." He's like, "I'm from Massachusetts." Okay, and even if I was a foreigner, what are you doing? That's crazy.
He seems to have this pattern of accusing people of being foreigners and then threatening them with calls to authorities. Right? Like it must make him feel good about himself, like a big tough guy. Like, I'm gonna call the police.
2 easy ways to follow the Young Turks. One is hit the subscribe button down below, then you're a TYT subscriber. And second is ring the bell. And when you do that on YouTube, you're notified of our videos.